Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to Look Back. This is a show in which we go back 1, 5, and 10 years ago and tell you what we think about the reviews that I did then. Although in this particular video, there's no reviews from 10 years ago. Apparently, I took Christmas off back then. Okay, so we're going to start with what last year. So first we have Klonk. Klonk was a game going through a dungeon and playing cards, but I just felt there was too much luck in the game. Also, I thought it was funny that there was Klonk with an exclamation point and Clank that came out the same year. Clank's an amazing game. They actually even had kind of the same theme, but just wasn't really a fan of Klonk. Flamme Rouge, this is a game that a lot of people really enjoy, a bicycle racing game. I'm very much a minority here. I just felt that the board was superfluous as you moved around the board. I know that there's some reasoning for the board, but just this concept playing cards and moving to the front, for some reason, didn't really work with me. I didn't feel any excitement in this game. That's for me. Then we have Glimpse. This is a game that uses that technology where when you put glasses on, you can only see some colors. It's kind of an idea to show you what it is like to be colorblind, but it's also a party game where you're trying to guess things based on the player's tokens, but you can't see what color any player's tokens are. It's a cool little concept. There's also Pipework Duo. This is a game where you put down pipes. It's really like an app, but there's nice big chunky plastic pipes that you're putting down, connecting things together. So if you like that, you would enjoy that. Undercover, this is actually a really intriguing game that doesn't have as high of a rating, mostly because A, it doesn't look that great, and B, it's really an abstracted spy game as you're trying to put these tiles down and score different colors. There's a lot of interesting ideas, and I think it makes a good pack. It's just not a fantastic one. Dungeons & Dragons Rock, Paper, Wizard has gone up for me, actually, because this game, while it is essentially rock, paper, scissors on steroids with cards and stuff, is actually pretty fun. So this is I found this one to be an amusing game to play, and a lot of silliness involved in it. Then we have Mino and Tari. This is a two-player game where you are moving pieces around. There's a board between you, but the pieces are connected with magnets, and you're moving through a maze, but you can't get through this wall, so I stopped, and now you move it on your side because there's no wall for you there. And so you're trying to get from one spot to another, giving each other directions, and working together as a team. Just a really great concept. Dice City Crossroads. This added more stuff to Dice City. Dice City needs these little expansions, I think, to really shine. I don't know that I'd pick any one over the other, so Dice City Crossroads is just as good as the rest, I suppose. Liar's Dice. This is a game that consistently is a game that I enjoy. It's a game that's been even in the movies. You know, it's Pirates of the Caribbean 2 had a version of it. It's a game a lot of people know. And last year I reviewed one of the versions that came out. I like the brightly yellow colors of this version in the dice. If you don't own Liar's Dice, you really should get a copy of it. Then we have Armageddon. This was a surprise to me last year. Sam and I played. I think we reviewed it. I can't remember, but I know we both enjoyed it. As you are collecting resources in Armageddon, and then it has this really interesting bidding thing where you're using people to bid on things, and the ones you don't use, you then put on your board as worker placement. So it's kind of a cool concept, had a really cool, strong theme, Armageddon. Then we have Dale of Merchants 2. Dale of Merchants 2 is a deck building game. This is basically the sequel to the first one, but they're the same thing, really. It's the same game, just different animals in each one, so you can mix them together. So it really does kind of double the options. I like this kind of idea of taking a bunch of animals, putting them together, shuffling them, and that's a deck that you play with. Each animal has special abilities. A cool idea. Cosmic Eons. This is the last expansion for Cosmic Encounter that's come out. So it's been a year now since the Cosmic Encounter expansion has come out. That's fine. This one added dials. This added a lot of cool aliens. But what it also did was it added dials where you could all simultaneously pick whether you're helping the attacker or defender. I like that a lot, and I think I would play it half the time. Then we have BURRE'S Gambit. This is a very unassuming, boring-looking card game from WizKids, and in it you are on a ship, and basically someone's been infected, but there's also bad guys and good guys. So there's like the corporation versus the good guys, and you're trying to figure out who the infected person is, because the corporation wants to keep them around. The good guys want to jettison them off the ship. So it's like a mixture of The Thing and Battlestar Galactica to some degree, but it works really well. And that's pretty much it for a year ago. Let's now jump to 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I did not really like Iron Die, although I like Iron Dice. The iron dice, we even had some specially made for the Dice Tower Kickstarter 5 years ago or so. Really great dice. They're big metal dice. They're fantastic. The game for iron die, first of all, super confusing. The rules and everything. And secondly, just wasn't really much of a game. But it really did. The components are amazing. Then we have Central Market. This is a game from Brain Games, in which you're placing cards in the middle and collecting them and stuff. It's a good game. Like a lot of Brain Games, has some good concepts in it. I'd love to see it developed into an even better game. Sheep, Dogs, and Wolves is kind of like a domino tile laying style game. Area control, trying to control different regions, dogs and sheep, ignoring the wolves. It's an abstract game, that's fine. Blockers, same thing. This is Blockers, the card game, by the way. This is a game, it's very, very light. Think Uno style type game that, hey, grandma will play this with me and have a lot of fun. I don't know that it's necessarily for gamers. Then we got Thunderstone Advance, Root of Corruption. This is one of the expansions for Thunderstone Advance. It's the second one, actually. It added a cooperative mode that I don't think I hardly ever use. Added a big map for that, a fold-out thing. But this one also started adding in cards that we had seen from Thunderstone, which I enjoyed. Temple Run, Danger Chase. At this point in time, Temple Run was the game to play. Everyone was playing Temple Run. And so a board game version of this is a mass market game. I played it with my girls, and it actually worked really well. Had a nice timing aspect. Move the guy before the guy catches you. Love Letter. This is easily the biggest game that I reviewed 5 years ago. This game has taken off to be a phenomenal hit. I thought it would do well. I did not think it would do as well as it did, with AEG making, 20 different themed versions of it and such. I still enjoy the game. It's a micro game. And I don't know that micro games have that much depth. So I've played Love Letter, 30 times or so. And I feel, not even counting all the different theme versions of it, I feel like I got it at this point, but I know a lot of people still really enjoy it. Then we have Wild Fun West. This game, I think, could become really great with some better components. Wild Fun West is a game where there's a town in the middle, and you are getting different people, and the people that you have will affect people that other folks have. There's buildings. You're trying to get a specific set of buildings built in town. So you're all working together to get these people that give you money and stuff, and then you're going to be voting on whether a new building is added to the town or not. I like a lot of the concepts of this game. There's a lot of role play, Western role play. Very entertaining. River Dragons is a abstract game in which you are connecting bridges across the table. That's all you're doing, is you're going to be connecting bridges and moving them across. The component quality for this game is amazing. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It is abstract some, but it's one of those games that almost gives you this Zen type feel as you play it, because you're just having fun putting bridges and moving things around. Let's see. That was River Dragons. Now let's jump to Xanadu. Xanadu has a special place in my heart because it's one of the games that made me think of the Dice Tower Essentials, because I was like, man, someone needs to reprint it. Well, it was reprinted 5 years ago. This is a little card game where you're going to be using cards for resources and also building some of the cards for points. It has some just really cool ideas, but the simple idea of collecting cards and using the cards in two different ways in a small card game came across really well. And then finally, Core Worlds Galactic Orders. This is a game that really, this is an expansion for Core Worlds that just made it much, much better. In fact, I will never play Core Worlds without it, because whenever you play cards, you would get tokens, and these tokens would be put on different areas, which would give you special abilities. It added another layer to what you were doing, and I really like it. So, Core Worlds Galactic Orders. And those are the games that I played a year and 5 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Look Back on the Dice Tower.